Ages of Cataria is a cozy town building simulator where you manage your citizens, assigning them resource gathering jobs and keeping them healthy and happy as they grow older, start families, and eventually pass on. It's listed for $20 on Steam, and the developers gave me a key to check it out, but as always, the thoughts and opinions in this review are my own. So, is Ages of Cataria worth playing today, considering that it just entered early access? This review is going to answer that question. Ages of Cataria originated as a Kickstarter game that had a rocky beginning. If you go back and watch a trailer for the game, there was a lot promised at the time, and unfortunately, very little of that is currently in the game. I'm not going to go into a lot of the development issues, as I wasn't following this game at the time and I can only put together bits and pieces, but there seems to have been some kind of financing issue that resulted in a massive delay, and a lot of their fans on Kickstarter weren't happy. But as Ages of Cataria is currently in early access, this review is just going to focus on the current build of the game, not what was promised in the past or where the game is going in the future. Let's start with the technical performance and graphics. I'm running the game on a 5700 XT and a 7600X CPU, which is firmly in the mid-tier of PCs. I got a stable 60 FPS at 1440p with high settings, but you can also pump it up to Ultra with the game hovering around 50 FPS. That isn't exactly bad, but there are a lot of pop-ins and graphics themselves just aren't fantastic. The game is bright and colorful, but there isn't a lot of detail on the landscape, and the characters themselves are uniform looking. While you do have some customization options for your characters, they still need a lot of work. That's graphics and FPS, but what about bugs and technical issues? Well, the game is rough. Even for an early access title, it has a slew of bugs, UI problems, and missing features. There is an option to unstick your characters if they get stuck on the landscape, but I would also recommend just using it periodically because it does unfreeze character quests and dialogue options that might not show up otherwise. The controls themselves are really clunky, with camera zoom and rotation being a bit difficult to precisely get it where you want it, and the option to close out menus requires pressing the X button rather than the escape key, which kept messing me up. But if I had to describe my issues with the UI in one word, that word would be clunky. Everything you do in this game is just a little bit harder than what you would expect it to be, just a touch slower than what you would want it to be, and a little more unwieldy than it should be. Selecting characters, for example, requires clicking their portraits on top, but you can never find them on the map quickly and what they're currently doing. Assigning those characters to a building is a bit of a process, requiring multiple clicks to have them start working or finding them, hovering over the building, then clicking to assign them to it. It's not onerous or anything, it just requires more work to streamline it. Then there's the resources themselves. You need wood, food, stone, along with other supplies to build or research upgrades. But if you're gathering a specific type of food, sometimes they just stop gathering, and it wasn't until hours into the game that I realized that some resources in your inventory cap out at 50. The game didn't tell me that. I had to figure it out on my own. It's not my intention to list all my minor gripes and problems I have with this game, but just know that it needs a lot of polishing in both its performance and its gameplay in order to just smooth out the experience, let alone all the missing content. Let's talk about the gameplay itself. What is the premise of Ages of Cataria? Well, you start a settlement in a new world with 4 villagers. You build them homes and you gather resources to keep them alive. Eventually, they'll start dating and marrying each other and have children. Those children grow up to work in the village, and the adults eventually die out and become spirits. The game is super simple, and honestly, there's not much to do after the first hour. Once you have your houses built, a farm, a quarry for stone, and a lumber mill, you pretty much wait until people are born or die. You research upgrades, but they really only make the process of gathering resources faster, and wait for more deaths to put your settlement up a level to unlock new buildings. That's pretty much it. As it's an early access game, I'm sure there's going to be a ton of more stuff added into the future. But at the very moment I played it, I can't see anyone enjoying this game for more than a couple hours. Eventually, when you build everything and upgrade everything, you have nothing else to do. You can't customize the buildings a lot or expand it into a city. There's just a very basic town builder here, which makes the price a problem. $20 in my opinion is way too much for Ages of Cataria. If you are interested in it, I would wait until more content comes out before spending that much money, or just wait until it goes on sale to make what you do get here actually worth it. I'm the Casual Console Gamer on YouTube, and I'll see you all in the next review.